All right, so let's clean up the look of our product image related, as well as the list of product images. So to do this, we're going to go and look into Bootstrap for these thumbnails, for custom content for the thumbnails. So we're actually going to implement something just like this for the product itself. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the div class from thumbnail all the way down to the closing div for it. And we're going to bring this into our first related one, which is product. And this is going to go inside of here, inside of our actual related product for loop. So each one is going to be a thumbnail. And now, of course, if we have the image URL, we're going to put that right here and replace this image source stuff here. And we can actually just get rid of anything beyond that and just say end if, because the else clause is no longer necessary. You'll see why in just a second. And we're going to cut this out and put this inside of the headline. And then any paragraph text, if we wanted any, we could have that, but I'm going to get rid of these last two lines and just keep the caption, the image, and the thumbnail. So if we go back into our project and refresh in here, we now see that these are inside of thumbnails. The image itself is not linked, so let's go ahead and link that image up. And we'll close it off, refresh, and now these are working thumbnails. And then if we wanted to, we could also put a class in here inside of the thumbnail called text center, and refresh, and now we have a little bit better looking stuff there. And we might want to get rid of that caption. Maybe we don't want it to be caption. Maybe we want the text on top and get rid of caption completely. And then we have it just a little bit more dynamic, or at least closer to what we might want it to look like. And I'm going to put it into an H4 tag. So it's not too big. It's not popping out too much. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and do div class equals to row. And outside of the for loop, we'll close it off. And this should actually go inside of this for loop because it's related to this div class right here. Oh wait, no it's not. That's related to a different one. So let's tab everything in. So these divs are together. These row divs are together. And this last one is the sidebar itself. All right, so we refresh in here. We've got that going. Cool. So now that we have this row, inside of here with the thumbnail, I'm going to do div class equals to column small 6. So basically it's going to be half of it on the small size, half of the row here, and then there you go. So now we have related products, and it looks a little bit better. And then finally in this, we'll also add a cycle tag of, we're going to close off the row. So this is closing off the row tag, and then we'll add a new div class of row in here. I'll explain what this does in just a second. And we're going to cycle after the second one. So we load back in, and that's closing off the row. So if we had a different one, let's go to iPhone, or let's go to charging cable, it actually separates the products out into new rows and stuff. And also if we close it down, then it gets up to being a point where the related products are a lot bigger. So we might not want it to be ever that big, so we could just do extra small here, and no matter what, it's always going to be half. So related products are always half. Okay, cool. So that's that one. Now that we have this, let's actually copy this entire thing, including the cycle, because this is how we're going to display our products everywhere. So now going into our lists, so we want to see our template list for products. So in products, we're going to do product list. And here's that list right there. Originally we had it in a table class. I'm going to get rid of that table class and just put it into a thumbnail. All right, and now we want to do a div class equals to row, just like we did before. And after that, we'll put an in4 there. So let's go ahead and look at our product list now. So back into products. We now see this list. And of course, this we can just change object to product to match everything else. And save it, of course. And oops, that should be product, not project. refresh in here, and now we've got all these products. So cool. So this is a good start, but they're a little big. So this time, let's change the extra small. Let's do it to 4, or actually better yet, let's do it to 2 and see what that looks like. So extra small and then 2, and then we refresh, and now it's showing us approximately how big these would be if we went all the way across, and our cycle would have to change. So since it's 12 across, it's going to be after the 6th one. So this can hold 6 in each row, basically. So we're going to do, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Space these out a little bit. So this is row 1, row 2, 3, 4, 5, and then after 6 it does that. So we refresh, now we would have 6 products all the way across, and then we would start a new row after that. So if we added more products, it would do it. So let's show that with 3 across, and this would be column small 4, and if we did 3 across, it would be at the very end of the 3rd one, and we refresh, and then it would show just like this. And as you see, it's actually creating a brand new row. Something you might consider doing here is adding a header line, and that would separate the rows out even more, but we're going to leave it just like this, which is kind of cool. So now that we've got this, we can also do this exact same thing inside of our list for categories if we wanted to. So category detail would be roughly the same thing, but it's going to be a list of products instead of the category. So let's go ahead and copy this entire thing all the way from row to row, and we can put it in here, paste it in. Now object list is products. Refresh, and then if we go to one of our categories, let's say electronics, categories electronics, and now we'll see this. Cool, so it's looking a little bit better, and we can now play around with how our images are coming through a little bit better. Also seeing that we can navigate through the site a lot better than what we had before. Our products are showing up, and in that page we might want to say product list, put an H1 tag here, and just say all products. All right, and maybe search categories. So we'll put small in here, and then a href equals to, we'll put it into the categories, and we'll put a URL here. I believe it's also called categories, so categories, we'll have to check that in just a second. We refresh, click on it, and yes, it's taking us to categories. And we don't want all products on categories, so we'll have to adjust how that title is coming through, which is something we'll do later. But now we've got a little bit more of a dynamic look to it. And since we have this on our home page, we might as well show something different, especially if they're logged in. But that's something that we still need to do, and it's not something we'll touch yet. Actually, in the next one, we're going to show you how to make these templates a little bit smarter. So if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.